our chairperson, and standing by the existing protocols, I wish to read to you a statement by the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference on environmental degradation and the menace of illegal mining, generally called galamsey. We sum up our message as protecting our common home, a call to end environmental degradation through illegal mining. Introduction. We, the archbishops and bishops of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, have over the years, indeed since 2009, been consistently vocal about the environmental degradation caused by illegal mining, particularly the phenomenon of galamsey, which has unleashed devastating consequences on our country's ecosystems, water bodies, and communities. The conference is deeply concerned about the persistent and alarming levels of environmental degradation caused by such activities. And all Ghanaians, most of us, are witnesses to this. For us, in his encyclical Laudato Si, Pope Francis calls on all people to care for our common home, the earth. As stewards of creation, we have a moral responsibility to guard the environment for current and future generations. However, the indiscriminate activities of illegal miners continue to undermine this responsibility. Previous communiques. We recall our previous communiques. You can look at 2009, 2010, 2015, 2016 to 2023 that have dealt thematic areas such as the scourge of galamsey, a threat to our nation's future. Galamsey, a call to conscience and action. Protecting our environment, protecting our future. And we must end galamsey to save our country. These are topics we have dealt with in detail and which we have distributed all over Ghana. Please, you may want to find a link to all these statements made by the Conference on Galamsey since 2009 on the net, and the address is here. These statements demonstrate our long-standing commitment as a conference to addressing this menace. Unfortunately, the situation has not improved. If anything at all, it has worsened. And we must continue to sound the alarm. On our previous pastoral and social visits, various pastoral and social visits to our people in their localities, as well as our many travels across the country, we see, and we do not only see, we also denounce. And we do not only denounce, we decry the wicked and greedy destruction of our forest resources. These are some areas of concern that must call all of us to action today. 1, destruction of our water bodies. Illegal mining has polluted several of our rivers, such as the Pra, the Ankobra, Densu, Tano, Ofen, and Brim, rendering them undrinkable and unfit for agricultural and domestic use. And my attention has been drawn to these beautiful bottles. I don't know whether they are beautiful or they are ugly. But look at this. And this is all that some of us depend on for food and drink. We have noted, sadly, through the recent press statement from the Ghana Water Company Limited, that the average turbidity of 14,000 NTU instead of recommended 2,000 NTU in the Pra River. This has negatively impacted the livelihoods of farmers and rural communities who depend on these water bodies. Loss of agricultural lands and crops. In addition, vast stretches of arable land, cocoa farms, and other crops have been destroyed by illegal mining activities, reducing the nation's ability to produce food and threatening farmers who depend on their land for survival. Health risks. The use of harmful chemicals such as mercury in illegal mining poses significant health risks, particularly for miners themselves and surrounding communities. These chemicals contaminate water sources and food supplies, leading to long-term health complications, including respiratory and neurological disorders, increase in renal and kidney diseases. And you go to our hospitals and you see how many people are on dialysis suddenly and within this short period of time. How can we, for instance, justify the rise in stillbirths, physical and biological deformities in newborn babies caused by such unscrupulous and selfish enterprise? Weak enforcement of laws. Despite the existence of environmental protection laws, their enforcement has been weak and inconsistent. Corruption. Complicity of political leaders. Some chiefs and the lack of political will have further exacerbated the problem, allowing illegal mining to thrive unchecked. We wish to state that Ghanaians can no longer tolerate the lip service of government of whatever color in the fight against galamsey. And we call for action not tomorrow, but now. And right from this press conference. And all hands must get on board. There should be no respect for persons or of anybody or any authority when it comes to our life, which is the most precious gift that we have and which is at threat now. So we call for action. We acknowledge the activism so far by the media coalition against galamsey. Congratulations. By some of our chiefs who banned and have outlawed galamsey activities in their traditional areas. And we call on all other stakeholders, including the government, the legislature, the judiciary, the media, civil society, chiefs, and religious leaders to unite in the fight against illegal mining and environmental degradation. We further urge the political parties not to do politics with our lives. We need action from both of them. And that is why we call for immediate and decisive action by the government. We urge government who has the power and who can do it and change things if he decides to do it. He has the backing of the law and everything to stop it And if they do not stop it, it is because they don't want to, and they care less about our lives. We urge them to stop their lip service in fighting galamsey by employing all available means to halt illegal mining activities now. Otherwise, we will hold them responsible when we can and put in place what we, the populace, can do to protect our lives. This includes enforcing existing laws, holding perpetrators accountable, and ensuring that those involved in illegal mining face the full rigors of the law without fear or favor. We call on the media. We have gathered here, and we are so honored to have you here. You have a lot of sway. We call on you. We call on civil society organizations. If we can do anything, it is for us to protect the lives of our people. We call on you. And we call on our religious bodies, the Christian Council of Ghana. We call on our Muslim brothers and sisters for all of us to amplify education and awareness campaigns on the devastating effects of illegal mining in our communities. Communities must be empowered, or they should empower themselves to understand the long-term consequences of galamsey. And it is not very difficult for them to find. But they see the water, they see the agricultural lands, they see the disappearance of our forests. What else do we have as a community for us to see that we are dying a slow and even a faster death? Then we urge the government to prioritize the reclamation of destroyed lands and restoration of polluted water bodies. This process must involve the local communities, led by our chiefs, and be transparent to ensure the recovery of the environment. We recommend strongly a temporary moratorium on licensed community mining activities now. For whether legal galamsey or illegal galamsey, the effects are the same. And both, at least, must be halted for us to find proper ways before we can start. And this moratorium, if the government or those in authority really love Ghanaians, we are at a critical stage. And if they really love us, then it must be today and not tomorrow, if they really have us at heart. Now, while mining remains an important part of Ghana's economy, we don't deny that. We can't do without mining. It must be carried out responsibly and sustainably. We call on mining companies, both large scale and small scale, to adhere strictly to environmental regulations and to adopt practices that protect the environment. Many of those engaged in illegal mining do so out of economic desperation. We urge the government to invest in alternative livelihood programs that provide sustainable employment opportunities for these individuals, particularly in agriculture and other sectors. Political campaign against galamsey. We strongly urge all presidential and parliamentary candidates, if they really love Ghana and the people that they are fighting to come and lead, if they have them at heart, to make public commitments against galamsey in their ongoing political campaigns and call on their followers to follow suit. Say no to galamsey. Conclusion. As a church, as religious bodies, we remain committed to promoting social justice, a fair one. and the protection of the environment. We cannot stand by while our environment, which is a gift from God to be used by all of us, is destroyed by greed, indifference. The time for action, my brothers, is now. Otherwise, there will be nobody left to act. And if those who lead us will not act, we should not say because they will not protect us, we will not protect ourselves. We urge all politicians to desist from politicizing this grave national crisis. It is a crisis, and probably more than a crisis. We are gradually going beyond the threshold where, at least if we act now, we'll be able to recover certain things. But if we delay, we are afraid it may be too late for all of us. So let us rise up to protect our common home. May God bless our homeland, Ghana, cause us to resist the sins and crimes and greed and corruption against our environment. Thank you, and God bless you all.